Hi guys, my name is Ben Hubbard, and today I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of how to shoot a basketball. These are drills that you can work on from anywhere you are. You don't need to have a hoop, you don't need to be inside or outside, you just need a basketball and some space to move around. So we're going to break it down into two halves. We're going to start with our lower half and then come to our upper half. The first thing we want to look at in the lower half of the shooting mechanics are our feet position. All good shooters start with a base that's close to shoulder width apart. Some guys like to be a little more narrow, some guys like to be a little more wide, but for the most part everyone is pretty close to shoulder width apart. Our feet can also be slightly positioned a little ahead or a little angled depending on which hand we shoot from. Right-handed shooters tend to have a right foot that's a little ahead of their left foot. This helps for alignment and shooting on target where everything is going in one direction. But our feet mostly want to be, all our weight wants to be on the balls of our feet. We don't want to be on our heels. We don't want to be leaning backwards. We want to be in a position where we're athletic and we're able to move in any direction, whether that be shooting, whether that be passing, or whether that be dribbling. We want to stay on the balls of our feet. Mostly, we want to be in sort of a three-quartered squat. You definitely don't want to be too low, as you're going to have to come back up to shoot. That's going to be slower. We want to be, again, in this athletic position that's sort of three-quartered squat. Now let's come to our upper half. We're going to start with this shooting elbow. This elbow needs to be tucked pretty tight to the body. The more this elbow tends to flare and get away from us, the less stable we are, the less control we have over the basketball. The more close to the chest and tight this elbow can be kept, the more in line our shot's going to be, which leads to greater consistency as a shooter. Let's look at our hands now. For the shooting hand, we want to have fingers that are pretty wide on the basketball. Again, this gives us a better grip. Too narrow, you don't have a lot of control over the ball. But good wide fingers, base is strong, it's stable, allows us to do multiple things on the basketball court. Lastly, let's take a look at this palm positioning that we have on the ball. The ball needs to be in our fingertips. It doesn't want to be sitting flat against the palm. That tends to lead to a push or some kind of a shot put type shot. So it needs to be in our fingertips with a wide base. Now for the left hand, for right-handed shooters, or your guide hand, some people call it an offhand. We want this to be on the side of the basketball, maybe even slightly in front, but definitely not behind back here with this hand. That tends to lead to a lot of thumb flicks or flips as a shot, which leads to just a lot of inaccuracies and a lot of less consistent shooting. So if we can keep this guide hand on the left side of the ball, slightly in front, and it just guides us till we get roughly to our head in the jump shot, and then it tends to leave the ball, and it just stays in this hand solely. Obviously you don't want to bring it back down here, but for visual purposes, it comes off the ball and the ball stays in this good position. This elbow is up, it's shoulder height or above. Again, the ball's not in our palm, it's in our fingertips. As the jump shot reaches its apex. When we get to the top here, we really want to emphasize this wrist, the flick of the wrist at the top of the jump shot that creates our backspin. The ball should spin pretty much 12 to 6 straight back down. If you have a lot of thumb flick in your shot or too much flip, you get to spinning where the ball is spinning sideways and stuff like that. Again, just less accurate way to shoot the ball. A drill that I like to work on to just look at my fundamentals and make sure my techniques are in the right place is to just start with the ball straight out in front of us like this. Again, we're working on not having that ball in our palm, it's in our fingertips, we're straight away, and simply just turn and put it in the shooting position. We want to make sure this elbow's up, again, not in our palm, and then you can just simply go from here. You want to go into that athletic squat, that three-quarter squat with our heels up. You can just check and make sure that you're in the right positions at every stage of this. You can start by making sure we're holding the ball correctly, our fingers are wide, that our elbow's up, that we're in a good position. you know, that we're in our squat, that our heels are off the ground, we're athletic, we're able to move. And then just simply in one smooth motion, you want to take it and you just want to push off the ground and you just want to flip that ball with your wrist. Create that backspin, use the ground, use your legs. You don't want to be using your arms to shoot as much as you want to use the ground. Good shooters always use their legs in the jump shot. And so again, guys, this is something you can work on from anywhere. You don't have to have a hoop. You don't even have to have a lot of space. I mean, you can do it without a ball if you just want to simply go through the mental repetitions of getting in the right positions. That's going to lead to greater success as a shooter and greater success overall as a basketball player. Thanks a lot.